Am I audible? Sunil, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Fine. We'll just wait for 5 to 6 minutes and then start. Okay.
Okay, sir.
We'll start the class by 6:52. 6:52. Okay. Meanwhile, request everyone to switch on their videos. Preeti and Sweta. So we have Gayatri. Yeah. Okay. So Gayatri, did you happen to see the last class?
Yes, sir.
Did you follow the last class recording?
Actually, I was out of my home and I couldn't attend. You informed it in a short notice, very short notice.
Yeah. Even this is a very short notice. So I'm parallelly preparing for interview also. So it's a bit difficult. Whenever I am done with the PPT, because I just want to make the, if it was a classroom session, it would have been very easy. Now I'm trying to prepare a PPT, so which will be both helpful for you people also, and it will be more informative. So any doubts? Because Preeti, Sunil, and Shweta were present in my last class. Did you have any doubts with regard to this thing?
No, sir.
Was the pace okay?
Yes.
With regard to recorded version?
We add that we can pause and watch.
Okay, right. You can pause it, right? Fine, good. So we'll just start in a couple of minutes, okay? So what is the progress with regard to other parts of anthropology? Almost done?
You're asking me, sir?
Anyone with
Doing along with the course itself, like writing tests and completing.
no, to what extent is your cultural anthropology done?
Tribal and Indian is left. Caste, gender, and thought,
Okay.
religion. These
Thought
are.
is done.
Yes.
So how was it? Good.
Yes, good.
I've given tips in the last class also. Hope it was useful.
Yes, sir.
Mohan sir's book is more than enough for the thought. Okay, again reiterate it. Unfortunately, that book could not penetrate
Sir,
enough
there
in
is so
marks.
much noise in this anthro. There is so much noise in anthro groups. Sometimes we feel underconfident of our sources. But after listening to sir, now I am confident because we ruin it.
The most of the sources which people are talking about, be it standard institutes notes and all. I was seeing that group also. Sunil made a valid comment. It's like quality over quantity. So what happens is you need not study so much for for same question. For a question, you need not have 10 different answers, right? You need to have standard answer, and all you need to do is revise it multiple times and go and reproduce. Even if you read multiple times, out of 100% you are going to reproduce only 50 or 60%. That's why all India topper is at 55 percentage only. It is not a board exam.
Sir, my computer says that it needs to
No one is able to
restart.
reproduce 100%.
Sir, my
So
computer says that it needs to restart in 1 minute. I think I'll be leaving in 1 minute
yeah, you can
again.
join back. You can join back. We meanwhile will be discussing. So what I am trying to say is, okay, you just join back.
Until it goes off, I will listen, sir.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is, even a all India level topper is at 54, 55 percentage only, right? No one is scoring 95, 96 as like what we used to do in board exams. So that means it's a common issue for everyone because you are reading so much and you have to write very little. Ultimately, you read so much about cultural materialism, Marvin Harris, and all, you need to write it in 150 words. 150 words is one paragraph in Hindu editorial. Do you understand? So, all you need to write is only 150 words in a Hindu editorial. One paragraph of an Hindu editorial, you need to go and write on some of the topics. Right? So, that is the thing. I think Gayatri has lost it. Okay, fine. Remaining people are available. Sunil, Preeti, Shweta, and Vishal. Right. Yeah. Just let me share the screen. So, any doubts before we start? Any doubts with regard to the last class?
I have one doubt. So whatever was given in the last class, is that
Okay.
sufficient? Hello?
Yeah, absolutely sufficient.
So we don't need to go beyond that, right?
So that's what I said. You make a notes for every topic, and whenever you see something in internet or something in Hindu editorial, you just mention that site and just keep updating your notes. Okay. So my plan is to make you 90% prepared. I cannot give 100% guarantee. No one can give you. So that's what I keep saying. With this preparation, archaeology, whatever 5 to 6 classes you're having, you can attempt 8 or 9 out of 10 questions. That much I can guarantee. Okay. So one question or something, if they want to give out of box to surprise you, that we cannot say. But more or less, the beauty of archaeology is even if you do not know anything about that particular site, as we rightly discussed in the last class, Natufian culture, if you know that it is a Mesolithic site, your job is done. So the pattern of all the sites in a particular culture is same. If you are discussing a Paleolithic site, every site it is categorized as Paleolithic site only because it has undergone that particular sequence of events. Understand? So all you need to know, don't get shocked or surprised by seeing new names. So if for example you know that a particular site belongs to particular culture, you do not know anything about that site, but still you can get 4 or 5 marks out of 10 marks in that particular topic. How? If you know that particular site, for example, someone is giving you a 10 marker question saying Bhimbetka caves. You don't know anything about Bhimbetka, where it is located. You are really shocked, but you simply know that Bhimbetka is part of Paleolithic culture. You still write all the features of Paleolithic culture that applies to Bhimbetka caves, right? So that is the beauty of archaeology, that you if you know that one particular site belongs to one particular culture. So I am trying to inform you about all the aspects of culture. I am trying to cover various names of sites because all the sites belong to same culture. So if you happen to see any sites, okay, like the other day, in fact, yesterday only, there was a small article in Hindu about one Iron Age burial being found in Telangana. Okay, if you come across such small articles, just take 1 minute time, or note down in your phone. Ki this I have to update in my archaeology notes. Just write that site name and just go and write it somewhere, because that is how examiner also will try to frame a question from the current site. So we are covering all the static sites. There may be, archaeology is a dynamic thing, right? Someone might be exploring a site and suddenly they may come across some particular culture. So that may be published in some journal or some newspaper. So then you can just go and write that site across that particular culture. If that site happens to come in the exam, you simply need to list down all the features of that particular site in the exam, right? What, Sunil, understood? So that's how you approach archaeology. And are you clear with the answer writing format what we discussed in archaeology? So it's a very good structure which I generally follow, and most of the people follow that particular structure for archaeology part in anthropology. So please follow that structure at whatever site. Especially that structure is really helpful for a 20 marker question. Okay, if you see year on year from last couple of years, the weightage for archaeology is increasing because it seems to be the most neglected part of the anthropology. And as we discussed in the last class, anthropology questions will be straightforward. You cannot twist it or turn it anyway. If you want to ask about Mesolithic art, you can only ask what is Mesolithic art. Or else, if you want to shock the students, you can give a site where Mesolithic art is present. For example, Bhimbetka caves or Didwana caves. They can give what is the significance of Bhimbetka caves to confuse you. Even then, the same answer applies. No need to innovate or no need to link anything or write an extraordinary answer. If someone is asking you what is significance of Sohan, Sohan is a Paleolithic site that we'll discuss today. So instead of asking you what is Paleolithic culture, they'll ask you what is Sohanian culture. That is the toughest question in archaeology. Okay, so that you should be prepared. So let's get into the class. So what is your update with regard to physical anthropology, Rajshekhar sir?
We're almost done with 9.6.
Done with 9.6, right? Genetic markers, how was it? Genetic markers, right? 9.6 is genetic markers.
It's and too much details are there.
It's a lot of factual stuff. So what you do is you just, for 9.6, just close your eyes and just follow Rajshekhar sir's material. That's all. Whatever he's saying, you just try to by heart that. Because the problem is sometimes it may come in 10 marker questions. There you have no choice. So as I said, no, examiners also know ki what we skip these days. They also know. Fine. The slides are visible. Slides are visible, everyone? Anyone?
Yes, sir.
Right. So today we are going to discuss Paleolithic Age, one of the most important topics of archaeology because of its spread. Uh, so what is definition of a Paleolithic Age? Paleo means old, lithic means stone. So old Stone Age is called Paleolithic Age. Okay. So much more forward definition, ancient cultural stage or level of human development characterized by use of rudimentary chipped stone tools. You can just make running notes. I'll just pause. right? So what are the various phases of Paleolithic age? Okay, very important so that you don't get confused. In a Paleolithic age, many people think it is just one phase, but there are different phases. One is the lower Paleolithic age. 1 minute, 1 minute. There's a small correction in the slide here. Really sorry. Right. Now it's fine. So first one is lower Paleolithic age from 25 lakh years to 2 lakh years. See the spread here. Okay. So the lower Paleolithic age happens to be from 25 lakh years to 2 lakh years. And then you have the middle Paleolithic age. Okay. Don't get confused here. Why I'm saying so many times is people think lower Paleolithic age is the most recent age, but lower means the farther one. Okay. So just try to remember these timelines, very, very important. Okay. One of the major contributors of the Paleolithic history in India is Robert Bruce Forte. There was an exam, there was a question on Robert Bruce Forte this year. Okay. So you don't know anything about Robert Bruce Forte, but you know that he has contributed to Paleolithic age. It's a 10 marker question. You have to write it. Understood? The question was, what is the contribution of Robert Bruce Forte to Indian archaeology? Now tell me, is it a difficult question or an easy question if you know what did Robert Bruce Forte did? So the moment people saw Robert Bruce Forte, they got annoyed. Direct, oh, कौन है ये बंदा कहाँ से आ गया?
Easy if we know what his contribution.
So we know H.D. Sankalia. You know there are some important names in archaeology, but suddenly Robert Bruce Forte came and people got annoyed. So that way, if you
So
know
likewise, another like if they give some random name, I mean another, if they give that one, then we should at least recognize that anything you can do said about that if you
so see
quote
that
those names.
those are very raw ways of writing an answer. Okay, for example, if a now the catch lies if they are asking about an archaeologist. Okay, instead of Robert, they are asking about some Sam.
No, sir, I'm just telling the name, like every stage, the significant contributor, like not just the features of the thing, just like how Robert Broodfoot is associated with Paleolithic. For the other,
HD Sankalia is associated with Mesolithic.
likewise, or any other, only just Robert Brood,
Gordon Child is associated with
Paleolithic.
Neolithic. So
Just so only significant three names, sir. If none other to
no.
Paleolithic.
There are many names. V.S. Wakankar is there. So that's why my classroom notes are 80 to 90% sufficient. But if you still want some kind of names like that, you just there is one textbook called Upendra Singh. Okay, Upendra Singh happens to be daughter of Dr. Manmohan Singh, our ex-prime minister. She is an historian. Okay, there is one PDF which I'll post in that group. It's only 160-page PDF. Some of the notes are borrowed from that. Some of our slides are borrowed from that book also. So, in fact, 80% of that book will be covered through our slides and classroom. So, for these little names, maybe if you just go through that once or twice, you'll remember those names. For example, Robert Brood Forte, I remember because I read it once or twice somewhere. I remember. So that is how. See, it all depends on multiple revisions, right? The more you revise, the more you remember. Okay, fine. So this is about phases of Paleolithic age. So basically, Paleolithic age happens to be in this Pleistocene Okay, Pleistocene epoch. Okay, this particular classification is not part of our archaeology, but I have taken it only to make you understand that we are in quaternary period. Okay, in quaternary, see, this is how it is divided: aeon, era, period, and epoch. Okay, so we are in quaternary period, Pleistocene era. So if you write these particular things, you sound really knowledgeable and informative. You can simply write, Paleolithic age belongs to 2 lakh BC or 3 lakh BC, that anyone will write. If you write Paleolithic age is part of quaternary period of Pleistocene epoch, your answer, first introduction में अगर ये 1-2 lines if you write, it stands out. Agree? Because 9 out of 10 students will never write this. So this is Pleistocene era. Up to 10,000 BCE, it was Pleistocene era only. From 10,000, Holocene started, and just recently, we have scientists have officially acknowledged a new epoch called Anthropocene. Heard about it? From 10,000 BC onwards till today, even officially it is Holocene only. But some scientists are saying we have entered a phase called Anthropocene. What does Anthropocene means? An epoch where there are changes due to human activity. Now we are forcing the nature to change. That's what we are doing, right? In Anthropocene, right? This is just for information. In this you can namely note down the Cenozoic era, Quaternary period, Pleistocene epoch. This is like how you do the classification in primates, right? Like that. So this is the time period and climate. So as I said, Pleistocene epoch is up to 10,000 BCE. That is from 2.5 lakh years, it is Pleistocene era only. From 10,000 BC onwards, it is Holocene. So what were the conditions during Paleolithic age? Conditions during Paleolithic age went through a set of glacial and interglacial periods in which climate periodically fluctuated between warm and cool temperatures, which is warm and dry conditions, right? So there were drastic differences of climate conditions, and extreme climatic shifts of ice age. So the Earth was a ice body initially, where the ice began to melt. Okay, so the subsiding ice age helped humans in shaping modern human intelligence, adaptability, and social behavior. So, for any doubts regarding the time period and climate, so initially it was all a sheet of ice. So, as the ice began to melt, people started adapting to the new way of life, and the social behavior was shaped accordingly, and they started more, better way of life.
So can you show that slide again?
Gayatri, just mute yourself. No, there is some disturbance in the back end.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I forgot.
no problem, no problem. Yeah. Okay, done.
Yes, sir.
So the next part is the tool technology. So we are trying to understand all the topics in the framework which we discussed. Okay, so that it will be easy for you to remember and also easy for you to reproduce. Okay, ultimately try to understand most of the topics in this format only with regard to archaeology. It will be very easy for you. Right. So tool technology. So these are the various tools. Just remember these names like, hand axe, scraper, chopper, grinder, hammer, arrowheads, flakes and burins. Very important. You can just write these names and see the figures. You can easily draw them. Nowhere near to your skull, which you draw in unit 1.4. 1.4 and 1.5.
How exactly to draw them? All that any distinction is there, or
No,
just
yeah, I'll tell you. I'll tell you. So you just note down these names. So these are the different categorizations. Okay, you can just quickly draw them, or maybe if you happen to see the recorded version, you can take the screenshot and take a print of them. Practice. So these are the chopping tools, hand axe. Okay, cleaver. This is a hand axe, pebble tool, or a chopper. So if you see, these are all called flaked tools. Flaked means in a particular stone, this particular part is removed. Yes, this particular part is flaked. Flaked means like it is chipped off. It is chipped off, and a round tool is there. A top layer is chipped off, and it's made a tool. Very rudimentary and very raw form of a tool. Okay, not the high-end precision tools which we see today. So these are very raw form of tools. What can you expect from a person who's 2 lakh years old, where civilization did not start. It's a very beginning stages of culture, not even civilization by then. I hope already culture versus civilization is done. So these are the different tools. Okay, so just try to read this particular slide where the individual description of each tool is given. Different lower Paleolithic tools. This particular thing we have taken from Upendra Singh textbook. So here if you see, if you take a piece of stone and break it into 2 or more pieces, the largest piece is called a core and the smaller piece is called a flake. Are you able to understand? A stone tool made out of largest piece is called core tool, while smaller piece is called flake tool. Okay, these are basic definitions. So a stone is taken, it is cut in the top, a small piece is chopped off. The small piece is called as a flake, and the larger piece of the stone which remains is called a core. If you're making a tool from core, it becomes a core tool. If you make a tool from a flake, it becomes a flake tool. So this particular tool is a core tool, right? Because the larger part of the stone is remaining here. And possibly this particular tool must be a flake tool. You are understanding the difference between a core tool and a flake tool.
How can hand axe be the flake tool?
See, what is the difference between a core tool and a flake tool? I'm just saying it's a possibly a flake tool. Okay, we are not concluding anything.
Okay.
We are not concluding here. I'm just saying this might be a piece of rock which has been chopped off. Out of that, it has been made into a hand axe. Okay, we're not saying that hand axes or slate tools or these are core tools. We're not concluding anything. Okay.
One more thing. So
Hmm.
for me, I don't think there is any difference in the shape or anything. All are similar.
That happens, but you need to show that you cannot disrespect Paleolithic people, right? 2 lakh year old, they tried
One
something.
from each side is enough, no? One chopping tool, one pebble. Because drawing six in exam in that much time is possible. Is it
No, no,
possible?
no. See, 2 or 3 tools you have to draw. You have to draw the tools for any culture.
No, no,
Be
I'm just saying that you gave the combination. One is enough, no, sir.
enough, more than enough. See, you try to remember the two most different type of tools, Sunil. At least hand axe and chopping tool are quite different. Okay, this one and this one are quite different. I agree. This one and this one, they look similar, but chopping tool and hand axe are quite different. Cleaver is quite different. Cleaver looks like a triangle. Okay, so at least 2 or 3 tools you remember. You will reproduce 2 tools. If you remember only one tool, that will never come into your mind in exam, right? So what the next say? They say, see, hand axe is generally a core tool. Okay, here they have told. So we were thinking it's a flake tool, but it's a core tool. It is also a biface tool. What do you mean by biface tool? A tool which is sharp on the both ends, here as well as here, right? Here also it is sharp, here also it is sharp. So that is why it is called bifacial tool. Okay. And then pebble tools are made out of pebbles. Chopping tools, they are flaked on both sides. Okay. A cleaver is flattish tool made on a broad rectangular or triangular flake. You can just write one line description for all the tools. I'll just wait by seeing this slide.
Can you share the slide also, if you don't mind?
Yeah, it will be available with you during the video recording, right?
Okay, fine, fine, fine.
As a PDF or
Okay,
something.
okay, fine. I'll just talk to sir and send it to you. In fact, I'll try to, if possible, all the slides which we'll have, I'll try to share them in the PDF format, okay? So that you can directly print them and have for your revision. Okay? Just remind me in the last class, I'll send all at once. So, this is definitely more deeper than what you find in other textbooks. But my suggestion is to have this much content, because more often than not, what happens is when you get a 20 marker question for archaeology, I see people struggle to fill the pages. So that is the last thing you want in exam, right? Having less content and trying to fill the pages. It happens in ethics exam, of course. So, but then you don't want your optional also in that way. Mohan sir must have told you in ethics you know little, but you have to write so much. So
Stretch. So,
that is the how you have to approach. Anyhow, so right, this slide is done. Shall I move ahead, or can I wait?
Need 1 more minute.
Okay, done.
sir, how people handle bouncers in GS paper when they
We'll discuss in the last class. Last class is in open forum. First half an hour for archaeology questions, and then Whatever you want, you can ask. In fact, I was telling Sunil and others also that we will discuss something about prelims also, because luckily I could clear almost all the prelims I appeared for.
Sir, I gave three prelims and all and 80, and this one is 94. 2020 is 94.
94.
And I don't know, in exam hall, I missed some point. I
No,
think
there is
I,
there is some strategy. I will tell you. So I have given six prelims and I passed five times. So one prelims I lost it because I did not prepare. So we have to be honest with ourselves. Fine. Can we move on, Vishal? Done? Right. Shweta, you seem to be looking only at the slide. Okay. You can interact. Done?
Yes, sir.
Fine. So again, one more important slide. The types of tools in different types of ages. Very, very important. If you know this differentiation, you can attempt 10 markers very beautifully. Because Acheulean tools, levelized tools, all these are 10 marker questions and favorites of UPSC. In this slide, believe me, you have four questions. Four 10 marker questions you have in this one slide. So I'll discuss what is an Acheulean tool, what is a levelized tool, or a levelized tool. They may ask you as one more question saying what is prepared core technique. We'll discuss all this. So very important. Tool technologies of Paleolithic Age, art forms of Mesolithic Age, and the revolution of Neolithic Age are the favorite questions of archaeologists. You may ask me why, sir, why there is so much focus on tool technology? Because, let's be honest, it's the first time someone has ever tried to develop a tool. They've actually invented, not even discovered a tool, they've invented these tools. So for lower Paleolithic age, we have something called Acheulean tools. Middle Paleolithic age was in some parts of the world. Please be careful, these are not across the entire world. So in some parts of the world, it is levelized tools, which is also called as prepared core technique, right? And upper Paleolithic age, as you come towards the 10,000 BC, you have more sharper tools and some tools with some kind of blades, not the razor sharp blades you have today. For them, blades means something which is more sharper than the previous tool. And remember this, there is something called Old One tools. Old One is a site in Africa. Okay, Old One is a site in Africa. There was a question last year, Old One Gorge, 10 marks. Question just is one word, Old One Gorge. Describe, inform, nothing. The question is Old One Gorge. So what will you write? It is a site in Africa. In unit 1.5, you will know that there are some Homo habilis uh, fossils which are found. You can write that tools in Old One are flaked on one side, and then you can write some description about Homo habilis and their features. Done. 10 marks. And it's a very good question.
also these features also we can write, no, say climate and all everything.
Exactly. Of course. Once it's a lower Paleolithic site, all the climatic features are same. So that is how you integrate topics. You should know that old one Keume, there was Homo habilis. Homo habilis is a form which is before Homo erectus. Okay. Homo habilis, in fact, they are called the first tool maker of the mankind. Next are Acheulean tools, flaked or chipped on both sides, and are more sharper than old one tools, and they are done by Homo erectus. So Homo erectus is the next version of Homo habilis. So you're seeing as the human man evolves towards Homo sapien, the tool forms are also evolving, right? When we discuss Mesolithic age, you will find that the tool forms are microliths, very small tools. So the tools from a bulky big chopper, it's becoming small chopper, and then it's becoming a small hand axe. Then the tool is becoming this part, and then it is attached to a stick. It becoming a axe, right? So that is how your evolution happened along with the towards the Homo sapien. This slide is done. So this is your leveloise technique. Okay. So if you want, you can read this, but very simply, what you try to understand is there is one big rock. Okay. So far, what we have done, we have chopped it off from the top and called it the bottom part as a core and the top part as a flake, right? But now what they are doing in this particular, if this is the tool, just try to understand. This is my palm. This particular thing they are trying to demarcate. Okay, this particular thing they'll try to mark it, and then they'll remove this part, they'll remove this part, and this part will be your leveloise tool. Understood? This is one big rock, granite, pebble, whatever it is. You will try to mark some round shape here inside. Okay, rest of the part, entire part you will remove. The whatever that round shape comes out of from this particular part will be your leveloise tool. Understood?
So it would be core tool or
It's a different technique altogether. It is not classified as a core or a flake. It is called prepared core. If you see the previous slide, this is called prepared core because you're in this, you are preparing this particular core, right? You will remove only this beach card, whatever you want, that you will mark. Rest of them you are chipping off or chopping off. Even today we follow this technique. Yes or no? We'll mark it and the entire outer periphery is removed. So this becomes your, if you see here, what they are doing, if you see, just see here. This is the preparation of, see, this is the first rock, right? In that rock, they have marked the desired shape. They're slowly, chopping off the desired extra part. And by the time it comes out from here, it's like this. So the entire this particular extra rock has been removed. So this is a prepared core technique, very famous with regard to Middle Paleolithic Age. Okay. It was also followed by Neanderthals. You can write that. It is also part of Neanderthal man. You will study that in physical anthropology. So whenever you study physical anthropology, try to connect these issues with physical anthropology. You can use physical anthropology in archaeology, archaeology in physical anthropology to make your answer more holistic. So this is your prepared core technique. You can just try to understand this diagram and draw it in your own way. This need not be this particular tool only. If you want a star from a very big circle, you mark a star and remove entire outer periphery, it becomes your prepared core tool. Right? Got it? Meena, following?
Yes, sir.
Right. Shall we move ahead? So what are the various tool materials? Tool materials we have used. We means our ancestors have used. These are different types of material. Dolerite was used in lower Paleolithic. Quartz was used in lower Paleolithic. Limestone in few places in India, upper Paleolithic. Are you able to remember the timeline? Lower Paleolithic is up to
2 lakh, 25 lakh to 2 lakh.
25 to 2 lakh. So your middle is from
2 lakh to
2
40,000.
lakh to 40. Upper is from 40 to 10. If you see the quality of tools materials also, granite is used at the last. It is very recent form of tool making. Okay. Quartz was the first initial form of raw material for which the tool was made, from which the tool was made. These are all raw materials. Understood? Quartz rock, dolerite, chalcodony, middle Paleolithic, jasper in middle Paleolithic, limestone in upper Paleolithic, occasionally basalt and granite in upper Paleolithic. Okay, very rarely you find granite tools in Paleolithic age. Very rare. Okay, now see the transition. Smaller and lighter tools during Middle Paleolithic Age. Tools became more lighter and sharper from Lower Paleolithic to Upper Paleolithic Age. There are obviously some regional variations in tool material used and new technologies in making tools. Right? Looking dry, huh? Archaeology is looking dry. I told you, right? Not as interesting as marriage, family. I know, not as interesting as karma philosophy or varnashrama. Varnashrama, there is so much of fun in drawing that circle, right? Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. If you don't do that, come back, or else you will go to Moksha. Practice that cycle. Gave your exams, topic-wise exams you have given. After archaeology also, we'll try to have an exam. Sanskritization, westernization, what M. N. Srinivas told, what S.C. Dubey countered. It was Dubey only, right, who countered? No. And then the famous Chicago School from where our LP Vidyarthi came. And then he has given so many things. Great culture, little culture, great tradition, little tradition. Done with everything? NMS?
I think we are yet to read Indian Anthropologist. We've not done that yet.
Not done the Indian Anthropology?
No, not yet. I think maybe in coming days.
Fine. One wonderful advantage I had is that I had made my own notes for Indian Anthropology. Okay, some 25 to 30 page notes, and which I could revise between paper 1 and paper 2. So that was the level of notes I made, and my advice to all of you is for paper 2, have your own notes from the classes. Okay, uh, be it for tribes or be it for Indian anthropology. I'm just trying to deviate in between because I know, continuous bombardment of Paleolithic age will take you to 2 lakh years before. You'll never come back again. So uh, have your own notes for paper 2. It will be really helpful. Really helpful. Uh, Anyhow, you'll have these notes for archaeology. So archaeology paper 2, if you have notes, maybe 60% of the syllabus is done. And for physical anthropology, anyhow, you have very good PPTs by Rajshekhar sir. And for social anthropology, cultural anthropology, you have 5 to 6 very good case studies of Mohan sir. So that 6 case studies, sir will tell you 60 ways of using them. Okay. Only for pastoralism, for no, there is one case study of Mohan sir, which is beer horse. I think he told you about beer horse. Okay, that you can use in hunter-gatherer societies. You can use it in paper 2 also. In fact, I used it in paper 2 this year. It was actually a paper 1 case study. I used it in paper 2. How it is if you see, beer horse are now being converted into caste, right? So it is a classic case of tribe and caste continuum. So don't, that's what even I told you in the last class. Don't try to be in that island mode. Try to integrate topics. If you're reading something in paper 1, if you're reading something in paper 2, paper 2 is by and large the application part of anthropology. So Indian anthropology or tribes, tribes, if possible, nahi, you have to read Kaka committee report. Sir also gives very good material on tribes. Okay, uh, very good material in fact. And then you read some recommendations of Kaka committee report and all. Try to make some important points with regard to health, health of tribes, education of tribes, displacement. Okay, these are all favorite issues because till date these issues are not solved. Kaka committee gave its report some 3 4 years back. Even today those issues are pertinent. You still have development projects, you still have tribal displacement, Polavaram is still going on, lakhs of people are displaced there. You have many case studies. Recently there was an issue in Telangana with regard to uranium mining. There was this issue of chenchus, chenchus being isolated or chenchus being disturbed, and then there was a issue about tiger reserve being disturbed, and then the government has uh, gone back on a stand of uranium mining, and you have this case study of Dongria cones. So if you structure your preparation in anthropology, it's really wonderful to link all these topics and have a holistic answer for each and everything. You asked me, Sunil, right? So, sir, did you have your own answers for paper 2? Yes, I had every topic. I had some content for it, so that it makes our lives much more easier. Content and along with the examples. You need to put some effort. Maybe this prelims notification is not yet out, right? Supreme Court has put a hold on it for extra attempt. So, but the timeline will not change. The exam will be on 27 June only. So 27 June means March 1st, March first week or March 10th. Till then, you have time for your mains. Prelims you cannot neglect. It's very tricky part of the exam. If you lose in prelims, you are losing 1 year, right? Very painful. And preparation for prelims is always again catching that Lakshmikant. So Article 14, 15. So very painful. Try to clear the prelims. People like Gayatri also clear the prelims. Just do it. 104 is the cutoff. 104.33 doesn't matter. Clear. But 103.66 hurts a lot. I did not clear once. I got, it was 98 was the cutoff for general category. I got 97.66. I came out and when I saw that mark sheet after, and that marks you see after 1 year, the beauty is you see after 1 year. So after 1 year, you repent that one extra greedy question which you attempted in the last 5 minutes, you should not have attempted it. But when that greedy question gives you +2, it's a different ball game. That's where your prelims, being smart plays really a vital role and shouldn't be greedy. There is no hard and fast rule. Maybe up to 2016-17, people used to say attempt 95 or else if you don't get 120, you are gone and all. 2018 cutoff was 98 was. 2019 cutoff. 2018 was 98. 2019 was less than 100. I'm 100% sure 2020.
2019 was also 98.
So 2020, the so-called toughest paper, I still feel it is less than 100. In fact, people are saying it's 95, 96. So you rubbish all these claims of attempting 90 questions, 95 questions and all. We'll discuss that when we do it in the last session. I'll try and explain my perspective. It may work out for some or it may not work out for some. It's always that star mark, conditions apply. Everyone has their own strategy. So the best strategy is not to follow anyone's strategy. Especially, rankers give so many tips. I have seen many rankers myself. Okay. I know many of them myself. So
They bullshit. They bullshit.
okay, let's not disrespect them, but
Some toppers told this one. Like, we bullshit a lot, don't care us.
so I don't want to use it because I know few of them. I don't want to use that word against them, but maybe touch wood, if I get a rank, I'll also blabber something which you feel, oh, this fellow came that day and today he's saying something else. So anyhow, let's come back to Paleolithic age from our present age. Right? New tools, new technology in making tools, right? The final form is the art forms, lifestyle and culture. Okay, very important. This particular aspect is very important for Mesolithic age. Okay, straight away I'm telling you, Mesolithic age and culture, art forms are extremely important. Paleolithic age are also important, but not as much as Mesolithic. So Mesolithic art forms are a revelation of a sort for archaeologists also. Okay, we'll discuss that in the next class when we do Mesolithic and Neolithic ages. But there was some rudimentary form of art even in the Paleolithic age also. So what were there? These are called petroglyphs. Please remember this word and try to reproduce. Anyone can say cave paintings, right? What is so much great in calling cave painting? But there is a specific scientific archaeological term for a cave painting. Cave painting doesn't mean you take a brush and go and paint. These are made with a stone. Those are chopped on the, for example, if you want to draw a figurine, that figurine is done with help of, like, you take a stone and hit it across one more stone. So such kind of paintings are called petroglyphs. Petroglyphs. So when you use this word, it shows that, oh my God, this person has read it somewhere. Cave paintings, matlab kya hai? Anyone can use the word cave paintings. Try to use words like petroglyphs. You can say that if they're asking you speak about art forms of Paleolithic Age. The Paleolithic Age is marked by distinct, like you can say, marked by petroglyphs. Petroglyphs. That is, you can say, that is cave paintings. So you're conveying that you know the scientific term. You also understand its colloquial usage. Okay. So what does this painting signify? These paintings signify some cultic or religious significance. Okay, there is no religion as such during Paleolithic Age. Okay, even Harappans were also natural worshippers. So, but there might be some kind of cultic, cultic belief system. We don't know because we don't know many things about history only, which is a written form of record. Now we are talking something which is not even written. It is now individual interpretation there. So all these, and one more important thing, when you write any answer with regard to history, archaeology, don't write an answer in such a way that you are absolutely sure about it. You can write the word "it must have been," "it should have been," right? We are also, even archaeologists doesn't say with such concrete thing ki, yeah, this painting belongs to Paleolithic age and they have this mother goddess called Parvati. No, you cannot say that this is the form of that must have been. If you're writing about phallus worship of Harappa, you write that the phallus worship of Harappa must have been something like Lord Shiva or Linga worship in the present age. You don't say that the phallus worship of Harappa is nothing but the present day Shiva. Don't conclude. No one knows so much information about these ages. Okay, we are still gathering lot of information. Till date, we have not deciphered the Harappan language, right? So, hunting scenes. So, what are there? Hunting scenes, animal motifs, female figurines. We can just try to see in Google if there is some Paleolithic. Right. You able to see my screen? Google? Yeah. So these are very raw forms of Paleolithic, see prehistoric paintings. They are saying, you know, if you are very good at drawing, you can draw this also. Okay, no one will object for it. So these are all Paleolithic arts. Are you able to see them?
No, sir.
Huh?
No.
No.
Not able to see. I think that screen is not being shared.
Oh, sorry. 1 second, 1 second. Share screen, right? Okay, 1 second. I should share the Google. Right. This one is visible now? Yeah, visible. So these are very raw forms of this thing. You can, if you are really good at art, you can draw these kind of figurines also. Very very remote. If you see this, these are not painted with a brush or something. They are like engraved on the rocks, right? If you see this particular thing, this is like engraved on the rock, right? A red color rock on this particular. There is some kind of art. Hmm. This is a one more art. This is one art, where some kind of bull is drawn. People are drawn here. This is a hunting scene, I believe. So this is a hunting scene. So this is some hunting scene here. So you can just see them. One second. Now able to see the slides? Fine. So, these are some animal motifs you have seen, right? Some kind of bull they have drawn. Some female figurines are there in countries like Australia and South Africa. There is one cave called Shanidar Cave in Iraq. Okay, there also in that caves a lot of paintings are there. Hunting scenes are there. Okay, with regard to India, the overall evidences of this Paleolithic culture and paintings are very less. But one particular cave is there, which is called Bhimbetka Caves. Okay, in this, V.S. Vakalankar, okay, he is also an archaeologist. I am expecting a question on him also very soon, if this year. He is the one who was once he was traveling in a train from somewhere to Bhopal. This Bhimbetka cave is in modern day Madhya Pradesh. So on the way, he has happened to see, these caves, which are, he has accidentally seen these caves and then immediately got off the train and went there. And to his surprise, inside the caves, there was lot of paintings, lot of evidences for Paleolithic age and all. So, so then from there, the investigation started regarding the Paleolithic culture of India. And this Bhimbetka caves is very important. It is both a Paleolithic and a Mesolithic site. Okay, very important. And there are also some ostrich shell beads in Bhimbetka. That beads are like this. Just see this diagram at the bottom, figure at the bottom. So these ostrich shell beads look like this. So what about the way of life of Paleolithic people? They were mainly hunter and gatherers, right? So the moment you know they are hunter and gatherers, your paper one comes in. Okay. What are the characteristics of hunter and gatherers? It is an egalitarian society. There is no division of labor, no stratification. They roam in the bands. Okay. In what are the hunter gatherer things? Men are doing the hunting, women are doing the gathering. If you see the paintings of Paleolithic culture also, you see women is gathering, men is hunting. Okay. So less permanent settlement, obviously. Hunter-gatherers do not stay at any point of any particular place for a long time. They lived in shelters made up of grass, leaves, and roots. Preeti, following?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Vishal?
Yes.
So this slide is done. Sunil? Sunil, your name seems to be South Indian, but you don't understand Telugu.
Not South Indian, Maharashtrian.
Maharashtrian, right? Good. Where from Maharashtra?
Amravati.
Amravati. Okay. So you yourself are your place itself is an important UPSC question.
No, this is a different Amravati.
Okay, not sorry. I got confused with this Amravati in Andhra. So your Amravati is different. Shweta, you are from?
Madhya Pradesh, Bhopal.
You stay in Bhopal. So Bhimbetka caves
I've
is your
seen.
this thing then. You are now presently in Bhopal only. You are following class from Bhopal.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Gayatri, you are from?
Telangana, sir.
You are local. Okay. Preeti?
Sir, Rajasthan.
Oh, West is over, Northwest is over, Central India is over, South India is over. Vishal?
Andhra only, sir. Vijayawada.
Okay. So you are from Amravati then. Nearby Amravati.
Nearby Andhra.
Good. Nice. Very heterogeneous group. Good. Fine. So now just get to the important sites. Okay, there is this map. You please use it to your advantage to try and remember as many sites as possible. So I just listed few important sites uh, from India and other parts of the world. So other parts of the world, one major question people have is, sir, should we remember all the sites? India ka theek hai, where, what about these European sites? You simply say European sites. You simply say European sites. You say sites in France. You say, see, old one is a site in Africa. In exam, I'm sure, maybe there's a remote chance or there's a possible chance that you may not recollect the word old one. I know, in all honesty, but you know that there is this African site. You say in African site, no one is going to penalize you for that. Okay, if you write old one, well and good, you will have some advantage. But even if you don't write old one, if I were the examiner correcting the paper, I know, okay, this fellow knows something about this African site, is writing something. Okay. So, Balan Valley in the modern day Uttar Pradesh, okay. Bhimbetka, Madhya Pradesh, Didwana is near the Rajasthan. So the sites are coming with regard to your place. Huh? So Karimnagar, Kurnool and Nevasa are from Telangana. Okay. This Isampur, this particular Isampur is called as a Paleolithic hub of tool making. Okay. Lot of tools are found in this particular site. I am unable to recollect where this site is from. Isampur. Isampur. Isampur is in Karnataka. Okay. Isampur is in Karnataka. Sohan Valley is near the is in modern day Pakistan. Very important Paleolithic site. Please note down this Sohan Valley. Very important Paleolithic site. I think you're not making any notes.
Sir, I'll be watching it again.
Okay. Wait, am I going fast?
No, sir, I do it again. I watch it again.
Okay, fine. So Europe, France, Middle Paleolithic sites, Neanderthal man, Mousterian culture. So don't get annoyed by these kind of words. Mousterian culture means a culture which has followed Levallois technique. Okay. So again, if there is a question on Mousterian culture, just say this culture was followed by Neanderthal man who followed Levallois technique, then write Levallois technique. That's all. That's the answer. You don't. You may find it very silly, but that itself is the answer. Mousterian culture, it's not like some hardcore local culture which is having that much. No, it was a culture which was followed by Neanderthal man during Middle Paleolithic Age of France in Europe. Ho gaya, your 5 lines are done. Remaining 5 lines, they followed Levallois technique. And you write some climatic conditions. They lived in Pleistocene age around 25,000 years back. Middle Paleolithic Age, okay, 45,000 years back. They were subjected to extreme climates between dry and warm climate. You're making so much sense and you're making so much content also for a 10 marker. Okay. If you can further go, if you can have good grip on unit 1.5, you can say Neanderthal man was a contemporary for some point of time with Homo sapien. He had large cranial capacity. Pura likh do, no problem. It is not a joke. I am saying this is a very, very, very good approach to write these kind of answers.
Yes, sir, but we have to realize that this is related to Neanderthal. That is the only thing to worry.
Huh. So, see, for example, this year, last class also I told Natufian culture, you know, that first ball was a bouncer. Okay. But uh, all you need to know was Natufian culture was a Mesolithic culture. Okay. From there, the answer is just flow of pen. How fast you can write is how fast you can finish that answer. So this is the catch in archaeology. Okay. But if you see the 20 marker question in archaeology, how straightforward it was. Did you see this year question paper? Any chance? Anyone?
Yes, but I don't remember what you're saying.
Paleolithic culture page, there was a straightforward question. And they have asked one question, what are the contributions of V.N. Mishra to Indian archaeology? 15 marks. And the textbook I am following is V.N. Mishra. If you see my first class slides, in sources I clearly told it is Upendra Singh and V.N. Mishra. So what is contribution of V.N. Mishra? He defined Paleolithic, Mesolithic, Neolithic, he found this, he found that. 15 marks. So don't get annoyed with the questions. Till date, what happened with anthropology is, I told last time also, 200, 300 questions, read them, done. But even today, maybe the content is the same. The way they are asking the question is different. They're trying to integrate the topics. They're trying to join various topics. So you should be ready with that, right? Okay. So these are some important sites. This is your map. Okay, you can take screenshot if you want. Just minimize all the windows and I'll just try to maximize weight. Yeah. Now try taking the screenshot and save it in your systems. You're able to see my screen?
Is it there in your book which you will be sharing?
See, this is not a book of a kind. This will be part of the PDF which I will be sharing. Of course, I will
Okay.
make all the slides. So, meanwhile, if you want to have some reference, some people have this habit of revising the class once it is done. Okay, that way you need not wait, right, till my notes come to you through Gopi or someone. So you can just try to see these sites. Didwana in modern day Rajasthan, Bhimbetka right at the center near Bhopal. Okay, so Shweta must be happy about it. There are some. This is Nevasa. Nevasa itself is one more culture that we will discuss. It is called Chalcolithic culture. Okay. Mm, there are some
Some
sites.
factory, they call it some factory.
Nevasa and Inamgaon. These are all in modern day Maharashtra. Okay. You have these sites in Telangana also, somewhere near. Renigunta is modern day Tirupati. Okay. Baghor is there near UP Bihar border. So these are important Paleolithic sites in India. Hmm? They have even distinguished, you see. Circle stands for lower Paleolithic, triangle stands for middle Paleolithic, square stands for upper Paleolithic. This kind of distinction you have only for Paleolithic sites. For Mesolithic, Neolithic, there is not so much division within the age because Mesolithic is what 10,000 to 4,000 BC and Neolithic is 4,000 to 1000 BC. And within Neolithic, you have 2500 to 1700 is Harappan, and from 1000 BC it is Iron Age, and from 600 BC it is your Mahajanapadas, ancient history, right? One more thing, uh, if you have the habit of getting switched off with ancient and medieval history, change it. Don't even try to, don't even dare to ignore them anymore. Now they are the favorite topics of UPSC. Prelims, last year also, the questions were, what should I say? It was culture. Culture is no more that, what is the standard book name?
Nitin Singhania.
Nitin Singhania. UPSC also has read it 4 times now. So they know नितिन सिंघानिया में क्या क्या है, वो छोड़ के बाकी का पूरा पूछेंगे.
So, but why do they have to do, sir? If they want to reduce coaching, it is only increasing more.
No, see, I'll tell you one beauty. I was just seeing this year mains papers, and of course, I have attempted it. So, uh, all the coaching centers are claiming that out of 20, we guessed 12 questions, 10 questions, 5 questions. Ultimately, what happens is if I make 20 questions from daily Hindu paper, some question will strike in the exam. Okay. What is the probability? Out of 2000 questions, you are claiming 5 questions. So any person who has attempted the question exam at least once can make 5 questions out of a topic. So on same topic, so all coaching institutes what they're doing, they're giving 1000 questions. Out of that, 1 or 2 questions comes in the final mains, and they're saying, yeah, we guessed it. You see, our coaching center is the best. But practically, for someone, is it possible to remember 1000 questions?
I'm not saying that, sir, because traditionally for ancient Arish, the modern history questions, I don't know from where they asked this time in prelims. I did spectrum.
Sorry, your video got cut. I'm really sorry. Maybe from my side or your side, I don't know. I did not follow the question.
I'm asking they're not asking from traditional sources, not about coaching, sir. They're
Mhm.
not asking from traditional sources like spectrum, and if you do all of that, and they ask of what was that question on that women, some marriage rights, some restitution of
Mm.
uh, something, and
So,
so if they ask from that book which nobody reads, so it only increases our reliance on coaching institute because we cannot manage to read 3-4 books for modern history.
so you should see Venkat Mohan's video about prelims. You should have inferior mind to clear prelims. So actually, the issue is traditional sources become outdated over a period of time because if you see Nitin Singhania book for culture, it was quite popular from 2012 to 2017. You read it and you get it. Okay. But don't you think that this exam deserves some kind of subjectivity? I told last class also to all you people who are preparing 1 year ahead. Okay, you are preparing for anthropology by joining a coaching institution. You are trying to make notes. You are trying to understand. You are getting one of the best faculty. So you are trying to genuinely understand the subject. What if I say, Gayatri, don't take this, or Shweta, don't take this coaching? Just there are 200 questions prepared by Mr. Sunil. Go and read them for 2 months before your anthropology and get 280. Won't you get offended? Yes or no? ये क्या हो रहा है यार मत then you will only say what is this joke sir, why to prepare for 1 year, I'll also prepare 200. When examiner is going out of the 200, you're saying if examiner is going out of 200, what is this sir, the exam has become a joke.
No, sir, the common offered explanation for this dynamic nature of exam is they want to reduce the reliance on coaching
Did
institutes
they ever
and
did they ever say it?
no, the defense they
When
offer.
question paper becomes tough, Coaching center take it on their ego, saying that UPSC is hurting us. Did UPSC ever cared about coaching centers? You think UPSC has so much time to see what Mrunal is speaking, what an academy is saying, what Feynman is saying? No, right? And if that is the case, if you open Telegram, there are 100 coaching institutes on Telegram only. Daily answer rating free, daily essay writing free, daily daily they will post Hindu editorials on that important questions or questions with options. When the moment you click it, it becomes green, some flashy colors will come, you feel as if you have conquered prelims. Huh? If it becomes red, then you touch it and you see what is the explanation. Oh, fine, that's where I've gone wrong. So after 2 or 3 days, there are 5 or 6 questions pending. You ignore that website, you go back after 1 week, you see there are 10 questions. You don't have time, click, click, click. 5 became green. Then you saw, oh, even with minimal reading, I'm able to get 5 green. Happens, right? So be very choosy with regard to your study material. Very, very, very important. Okay. Quality is more important. How much news you cover is not at all important. Monthly magazines, you see monthly current affair magazines. You take any famous monthly magazine, one will say A plus B is equal to C, other fellow will say B plus A is equal to C. Because in both the magazines, if you see A at the top, you will ignore one, right? So you'll intentionally put B at the top. As if he has discovered or invented some new news out of nowhere. And half of the news is useless. And whenever we see that news, we get panicked. अरे मैं कुछ पढ़ा क्या हिंदू में? ये कहाँ से आ गया? From where did it come?
Yes, sir. 2 months before, if I try to solve current affairs exclusive month-wise, I do 2 magazines, I still don't know anything.
Don't do so many magazines, stick to one, any standard one, which it is of your choice. Do it thoroughly. That's what I'm saying. This exam is all about perfection. It is not about the, how much you know. It's not that. In the content, how well you know is the important aspect. Or else board exam is all about like that, right? Board exam is you know the important questions. In intermediate, especially in Telangana, people score 99.9 and still you see, oh, crying. Why? They got 74 out of 75 in maths and they keep crying. So board exams, there are some 10 to 15 important questions. You read them and examiner cannot dare to ask anything out of that. But for UPS also, if you are expecting that out of 150 questions, how come this fellow is asking that 151 question? How dare UPSC? Fine. So this is the last topic. For Paleolithic, we'll just take one case study. Okay. This case study, you use it for a 20 marker question. Whenever there is a 20 marker question on Paleolithic age, the examiner asks or not asks, you just dump it. Okay, so that yes, I know what is Paleolithic age. This is a Paleolithic age called Sohan culture. It was studied using stratigraphy. Stratigraphy we read last class, right? Layers, different layers. So it is a lower Paleolithic site and near the Shivalik hills of the subcontinent, and it is contemporary to Acheulean site, Acheulean culture, and it is named after Soan Valley in Pakistan. So it was, the tools used were quads, pebbles, and occasionally there were tools made on the boulders also. The first person to have named Soan culture is Helmut de Terra. Okay, again very important archaeologist. I'm expecting a question on him because the Sohan Valley was a trendsetter for understanding the prehistoric age. There are some important names. Try to remember these: D.N. Wadia and Stephen Lysett. All these people are associated with Sohan culture. Okay, Sohan culture is very important in Indian archaeology because it belongs to Indian subcontinent, right? When it comes to Mesolithic age, you'll have some foreign sites, but for Paleolithic, by and large, it is Indian sites only. So there are some evidences of leveloise technique. You see, so this flaked prepared core technique has come again here also. Done with this slide? Okay, I'm just waiting for a minute. Vishal is there? Yeah. I'm able to see only three people at one point of time. Maybe I have to extend this. Read these 2 or 3 times, and I'm sure you will not find any necessity to read them again till your exam. Okay. Looks dry, I can understand, but read only for 2 or 3 times and read 2 days before the exam. Enough. Or maybe before your mock exams. I hope all of you clear prelims. So just before your mains, whenever you are giving mock exam, if you come back to Feynman for your test series, then they will do it. You are parallel writing exams, right? Exams, you are all writing exams? All are writing exams or planning to write exams? I'm asking about this exams after the topic anthropology.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Remaining Sunil, Shweta, Meena.
What?
Yes,
I
sir.
didn't get it.
Trying to write, sir.
After all the topics, are you attempting the exams?
Yeah, I'm taking.
Writing.
Yes, I'm also taking it.
How is the feedback from this, sir? Good?
For me, it's really bad.
Huh? No.
For me, it's really bad.
Good thing with sir is he'll never try to flatter you. Okay. It's not that oh wow super ऐसा कुछ नहीं सुनेंगे सर से.
I got a good and big smiley.
Uh-huh. In your exam, in your answer sheet.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What topic was that?
It was religion.
Huh?
Religion.
Religion. Okay. Emil Durkheim, sacred, profane. Hmm. Religion done. Animism, animatism, fetism.
By the way, one question: does handwriting matter in exams?
Uh, as long as it is understandable, it doesn't matter. But if you're writing prescription, it does matter. So of course, everyone writes prescription in last 10 minutes. Don't worry. So even though you are the most well prepared candidate, last 5-10 मिनट में 2 क्वेश्चन लिखेंगे आप. तो वो टाइम पे your handwriting will just surpass the best doctor. But be sure कि देखिए always try to put yourself in the shoes of the examiner, right? If you have to correct my answer sheet, I scribble it so badly, opening it turns you off. So it's a big challenge, right? So be strategic. First question, second question, 11th question, 12th question. Why this? In GS papers, first question and second question are 10 markers, up to 10 are 10 markers, from 11 to 20 are 15 markers, right? So what the examiner will do, either he'll open directly the 15 marker questions because he knows all the candidates start from 15 marker questions. So he knows that, okay, the content will start from here, or else he'll open from 10 marker. So 10 marker question, the first two questions, if they look very neat, and then if the 15 marker questions, so these four questions at least you make it very neat, give your best. After that, e to the power of minus x, everything will fall down, right? With time and speed and the pen. And make sure you use only one pen for mains. I mean, one pen means not single pen with multiple refills. Use any one pen. I use this one. I've changed this time to this one.
Does it matter, sir?
Which one is that?
I use this cello butterflow. So, I mean, I'm not saying that what type of pen or what type of ink you use matters. It matters to us because we get used to it, right? You catch it like this and you start writing. If it's fatter or if it's thinner, it does matter. Your speed gets hindered, right? So you go with the flow. You write. My advice is you write all the mock exams with the pen which you want to write in the main exam. For mock exam, don't use Chinese pen, use and throw, and then for main exam, पापा ने gift दिया, वो पार्कर पेन इसको यूज करेंगे, ऐसा experiment मत करो. Okay, very small issues, but they do cost time. An examination is all about time. If you write ethics paper, you know the value of time. Okay, it's always lengthy. The bell rings last 10 minutes, you are still writing two questions. Fine. So Sohan continue. The Sohan culture is further divided into pre-Sohan, Sohan and post-Sohan. It is based on types of tools and technologies. You can simply say the classification is based on types of tools and technology used. Okay. That's the last point. Various tools and technologies are found in this valley. Very important site. Please mention this case study. Even maybe for a 10 marker question, if you are falling short, if you forget any content, just dump this case study. Okay, very important. And maybe this particular Sohan culture only can come for 10 marks. Okay, so that is the important thing. And what is the continuity? Last. So the end of Upper Paleolithic culture has set the beginning of Holocene, right? That is from 10,000 BC onwards, and set the stage of Mesolithic period, where the type of tools used underwent a big change. So this particular paragraph you can use in your conclusion, right? So when you write these kind of conclusions, you look very visionary, right? Oh my God, this fellow or no, this girl is trying to link Paleolithic to Mesolithic. So this kind of small, but this is a very small paragraph, which actually makes a lot of sense. So this is all about Paleolithic culture. In next class, we'll try to do Mesolithic and Neolithic, and from there we'll do Megalithic and Chalcolithic. That will finish in next two classes, and last class will be Harappa, and then we'll have some small test. I'll just give some 10 questions of 10 marks, and then the test discussion along with doubts, we'll have one session. We'll try to have one session. So yeah.
If
with
they
regard
ask
to
just upper Paleolithic and just
okay, wonderful. Upper Paleolithic, we have the content here. Upper Paleolithic. What all we discussed, you try to integrate in today's notes. We have tools, we have discussed tools, more sharper and blades. Okay. And then we discussed the type of tool material. Upper Paleolithic is also Pleistocene. So you know the geography and the time period, you know the tool material, 3 points done, and you can use the continuity. Yes, they were more sharper and more blade tools, 4 points done. You can use these art forms and lifestyle common to all Paleolithic, 5 points done. They are they are also hunter gatherers, 6 points. Sites are there, 7 points.
Sites are same, sir. In history class,
Yes,
they say
yes,
different.
yes. So over. Upper Paleolithic is 10 marker question. You have 8 points. That's all. Draw an India diagram. Draw a map. That's what I told, na? You draw a map, and then in this upper Paleolithic you pick up few these things. So here it is there. Amongst these you try to choose upper Paleolithic, whichever you are comfortable. Lalit,
All common for three. Any sites which we can write for three.
you want everything is cooked now. You're saying, sir, you just
No,
haven't
sir.
watched.
I'm just observing if there are three,
Everyone,
four
uh,
to remember because I don't think in that tense conditions I'll recall.
So it does happen with everyone, Gayatri. People may not remember very basic things also.
Yes.
Uh, all said and done, you have to do these in mock tests. If you do more in mock tests, so always safe bet for anything you see these you see these sites are right Didwana, Beambetka. These are having some special appearance. All the three at the bottom. So I listed them only. Nevasa. So remember three or four sites. Upper, lower, middle, जो भी आया Beambetka. Remember Sweta and put Beambetka. That's all. Done. If you want to remember Preeti, you remember Didwana and then go on writing Didwana for lower, upper, and Paleolithic. This one.
How many would be ideal, sir? Five, six.
You mean to say sites?
Yes.
No, two or three sites are enough. Just try to. In fact, I attempted Neolithic question this year. I remembered four sites. I drew India map. I remembered one in the north, one in the south, one in the west, one in the east. Okay, in the north it was Burzham. In the south it was Brahmagiri. Okay, in the east it was Chirand. Okay, these three you remember. Draw India map, not to the scale, and not to your creativity also. It should look India map, and then draw this map. Just mention these sites. Done. Actually, when you mention the sites and draw them on India map, you'll have a lot of respect from the examiner. Yes, sir, no? For a 10 marker also, you do it. Everyone, he might be giving 6 to everyone, he will give 7 to you. So I'll just open 10 more minutes for this session with for any doubts for today's class or any some normal doubts, and then we'll try to close it. The slides, yeah, I'll try to make it into PDF, add my name, add everything, watermark, and send. That is the trend, right? Who prepared these slides and all, they should know. So, any doubts on today's class?
Sir, I don't have doubt from today's class, but some other doubt.
Okay.
So for me, I started in October itself. So
You're saying the preparation only you started in October?
yeah. So yeah. So right now I'm not feeling confident about myself. I mean, I'm able to do something, but confidence is not there. So how do I build it?
See, actually, confidence comes through revision only. Okay. Uh, Let me be honest. One day before mains exam, also you feel like you know nothing, and it happens with one day before prelims also. You read so many times, you read so many books, so many revisions and all, and then suddenly you say Article 14. There is some second part to it. First part is right to equality. What is second part? Is it what is that? What is that? Then you go to Lakshmi Kant, read that. It happens with everyone. So confidence is a very subjective thing. But since you started in October and you are planning to give this year prelims, and are you fresher? You are fresh from the college.
No, I worked for 2 years and
Okay, so you worked for 2 years and now you're preparing full time. Okay, you're preparing full time. So that is one good part with you. I think you still have a good chance to clear prelims for sure. Okay, and you've joined mains optional classes. Uh, Many people say they give answer writing from childhood, so it is not true. No one gives answer writings from LKG, UKG till UPSC. Everyone, let me be honest, all the toppers, okay, let's not generalize, but most of the toppers, as a matter of fact, write answers only after prelims. Okay. Uh, Writing answers 2 years before and getting evaluated, yeah, I got them. Does it is all TRP stuff. But everyone does answer writing after prelims only. So that way you're not at disadvantage. You're already doing your optional. Okay. You are quite well placed. Your optional maybe in all probability will end by March first week. So one revision. So doing optional, I am assuming that you are doing one revision. So second revision, immediately after prelims, you'll join a test series, and immediately after prelims, you'll join a test series for GS as well. So there you are equal to all the things. Maybe wherever, considering the recent years prelims trend, I feel you have to put more effort in prelims because the prelims is becoming more subjective, more dynamic, and the current affairs are not the current affairs what we think. Okay, they may ask something from 2016 also. For them, current means whenever Modi government came, it is current affairs. Okay, so my advice for you will be to start full-fledged prelims preparation from March first week and do multiple revisions.
yes,
Multiple revisions, matlab Lakshmikant. Ideally, you should read it 4 or 5 times to make to attempt at least 50 to 60% polity questions correctly. Okay. Even if you read it 10 times, you will still answer 3 questions wrong in polity. Okay. Polity is such a confusing thing. Confusing matlab they only play with that words not, will, shall. So do prepare for prelims very seriously, Vishal. Sorry, Sunil. And I'm sure you'll get more confident with preparation only, right?
right.
So GS means how you handle.
Mains, mains is a very big subject altogether. GS is much more this thing. Okay, GS is ocean. You read, only to realize that whatever you have read is not there. So it's okay. GS, whatever basis we have to cover, we have to cover. Static content. Paper one is relatively easy because you have static content, history, geography, and all. Paper 2 and 3 are very subjective. Paper 2, they are asking questions of their liking. Okay. They just wake up and say, yeah, today they are becoming scientists there. Okay. They are trying to invent things. And
So
paper
how many questions you knew, sir, in 2 and 3?
three was one of my best papers. Three I did quite well compared to last year, hoping for the best. These are all my assumptions. So we never know what UPSC thinks. So paper two was also very good. Paper two, some 3 or 4 questions were definitely quite tough this year. But definitely compared to last year, paper three was the easiest this year. And paper four was also very bit subject with regard to case studies. Case studies, I think
Yes,
someone, if someone has attended ethics course of Venkat Mohan sir,
I did, sir. I did.
it is
I
more about
did.
administrative ethics again this year.
Yes.
You attended? You attended?
Yes. Yes. Sir has covered
It's more about
Copper.
administrative ethics and case studies are also very, not that old case studies where you have merits, demerits, and then that was only one question which asked about such approach. The other case studies were completely new, and even the theoretical questions were also different. If you see the essay paper also this year, out of 8 topics, they have given 7 topics as philosophical topics only.
In
Either
section 2
directly,
also.
huh?
In section 2 also.
Yeah. First, it was like section one, and in 2015-16, it was section one. Section two was you used to have a GS topic, right? GS topic, one topic, one thing was related to education, one thing, this thing. You keep on writing, okay. Last before year trend was one topic GS section, one section was GS, one section was philosophical topics. You choose and then write, so you cannot avoid philosophical topics. This year all topics philosophical.
So patriarchy is gender and the social justice is also economic model thing.
In the sense you are asking essay topics.
Yes. I mean, you can trace it to economic model.
Yeah, you can
Feynman.
see economy question was there. I attempted that one only. So
The
philosophical
international relations one
philosophical
is
topics also you should international. Yeah, international ethics came this year. International relations came in the essay this year. Okay, so philosophical essays, what is it? You have to practice. It is like ethics question only. You know very little, but you should expand for 8 pages.
8 only, sir.
Huh?
8 only, not 10.
Lose yourself in the service of others, Mahatma Gandhi said. Now you have to write some 1200 words on that. What will you write? Uh, you cannot write.
How do they award? Sir, what was your optional scores?
Last year it was 255. So
Last year they reduced for anthropology.
anthropology some 300 was the top, and this year I am hoping see what happens. This year my anthropology went quite good. So I could at least write the exam as I wanted to write. That's what I called sir also and told him. Okay, whatever I wanted to write and how I aspired to write, I wrote. And being my final attempt, let's see how it goes. So, any more doubts? Let's have 5 minutes before we close. It's 8:45. Yeah, it's 8:41. So, 8:45, 8:46 will close. Preeti, any doubts?
No, sir.
Very silent you are. Okay. Any doubts, Shweta?
No, sir.
Vishal?
Not as of yet.
Okay, good. Vishal, this is your first attempt.
Yeah, first attempt where I'm preparing. Before I just gave for the heck of it. I registered, but I could not find time to prepare. I was
Nice.
working back then. Even now I'm working, but I've read.
Now you're taking time off, huh?
I'm working very less. I'm working 1 day per week or so.
Okay. Preeti, first attempt?
Yes, sir. I'll give my first attempt this time.
Great. So you're a new pass out?
No, sir. I'm still in third year.
Oh, you're in engineering third year.
No, sir. BSc.
Great. You are the youngest aspirant then. Nice. Good. Shweta, what about you?
I've completed my engineering last year, 2020.
Oh, nice. So this will be your first attempt.
So I've given my first attempt in 2020 only. This would be my second attempt.
Okay. Prelims ka score you've seen? Oh, it's not. Results are not out, right? Prelims are. We did not qualify prelims.
No, sir.
What was your score?
So I got 42 questions correct, but 40 questions wrong. So I did blunder.
No issue. No issue. It will improve.
I got 57 right and I attempted 86.
Okay, 57. You attempted 86.
And I messed up with preamble question.
Okay. I was getting 112 this year. So 112 to 118 was my score. So
Really, there are techniques here.
not techniques, I would say. Since uh, Vishal will be writing for the first time, Preeti and Sunil. So it would be unfair to call techniques since both people have experienced it, Shweta and yourself. So it would not be fair to call it as a trick or something. It's all about, see, up to 2017, if I remember, uh, it was all about elimination. You see that Roman Saini video also. He says that you eliminate this, you eliminate that, you will get the answer. So that was a kind of approach which really worked. Okay, I will not disagree with that. But now the approach is not like that. If you see the questions, you eliminate two options, but two options are so close that you are dead struck with it, and then it's all game of probability from there. You know, on your day you are getting this, on your day that's getting going there. So that's one bad thing which I think prelims is becoming that way subjective because anyone, as a matter of fact, doesn't know more than 55 to 60 questions. Okay. Even if you're attempting 86, 90, 100, you know only 60. Yes or no? Gayatri? Remaining you
I
rolled,
knew 46. I did 46 in first
so
round.
remaining you rolled a dice or you tried to stuck up with two options and you went by gut feeling, so-called gut feeling. You went with law of karma, whatever it is. But
I just wanted to make it 86, 85 plus.
no, there are in that guesses you don't have some knowledge about any questions. Okay, just ignore them. Don't try to play with that kind of questions where you have no knowledge. ये पढ़ा ही नहीं है, ये आता ही नहीं है, ऐसे चीजों में आप जाइए मत, ऐसे क्वेश्चंस को टच मत करिए. They may look very easy on the face. अरे ये तो पढ़ा था, लेकिन but you don't know the options. Just ignore it. Okay, those are trap questions, and you keep on moving around that question for 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Don't waste time. Move on, move on, move on, and don't go by initial five, six questions. अरे 5, 6 questions नहीं आ रहे, अभी क्या करें? वो सेट के हिसाब से है ना. ए सेट में ये 5 क्वेश्चन यहाँ पर है, डी सेट में वो लास्ट में है. Those are in the last. So every paper, every question paper will have some 25, 30 questions which are very easy. Okay, any serious aspirant will be able to attempt them, but then 15 to 20 medium questions, and then it's all about that smart guess. Okay, for smart guess, probably in last session I'll take this last year paper and try to explain how I guessed. uh, it would be really unfair saying that yeah, I got 118 out of 200 all questions I knew. That I'll tell after I get a rank. Okay, so at least I'll be very honest that I knew around 60 questions maximum. So I attempted around 85 or 86 or 90 maximum. So remaining that 30 questions where I could use some smart guess. So in that guess, some things worked out and it paid off. Okay. In that guess also, guess it in with your only core area. If you are good at geography, if you are good at history, if you are good at polity, if you are good at economy, in that areas only you go for smart guess more. Right? Understood? If you are completely ignorant about ancient history and you are trying to guess in ancient history, it doesn't make sense, right? You prepared very well with economic survey, budget, everything, you have it on fingertips. वैसे चीजों में आप smart guess करिए. Your probability of that is my strategy. You understood why guesses work out is you don't go for a guess. Okay, Chola Kingdom. I read it in 10th class. I'll do some guess on Chola Kingdom. Don't do that. You must have prepared Lakshmikant very well, and you must have stuck up between two options. There you can go for a guess. the probability of you getting right there is more when compared to going for a chola question which you have never read in the life. Just because you know chola, I'll go and guess. Aisa nahi chalega na. It's an exam to eliminate you.
Oh, sir, all this I do in mocks, but in exam hall I mess up.
No, no. Keep your cool, Gayatri. I'm sure, you know, if you got a smiley from Venkat Mohan sir, that means good probability that you are a good student. So, uh, believe that hard work pays. You know, I've been to interview also, and from there I've seen many toppers sitting along with me, and then from there, in next 20 days, I was preparing for prelims. So it's much more tougher. Okay, it's much more tougher to see people who had tea and coffee with you, and then all of a sudden you are back to Lakshmikant and they are in YouTube channels. Okay, uh, that is much bigger stress and much bigger depression to handle. So hard work pays off. It definitely pays off. This exam is a bit erratic sometimes, you know, but very uncertain. People who are in this journey understand. Okay, if you say, sir, I did not get through prelims for 3 times, I can connect. But if you go and tell to some of your relative, they say, oh, you are not talented. You got 98 percentage in board exam. What you are unable to clear prelims also in UPSC. Okay. Look, boss, we know. You should say, I know what is UPSC. So uh, just keep it to yourself, your attempts or whatever you think. You know, no one can judge anyone. In fact, maybe you know some of us are more knowledgeable and prepared than the toppers, but some things have worked out for them. They are smart. Okay, intelligence is common to everyone. That much I believe. So maybe something's worked out for them during exam, their preparation, their mocks, their smart guesses during prelims, or you know their repeated revisions. So something must have worked out. So not that we are bad and they are extraordinary, and as long as you don't get the rank, you are in that zone only. Once you get the rank, you use Article 19 to the most effective way, right to free speech. Huh? Whatever you, that frustration of years of hard work, toppers come and bombard in YouTube. One person says, I read 19 hours a day. I was like, boss, 6 hours के बाद दिमाग काम नहीं करता है क्या 19 hours का? Hardly, even in your best mode, without any avocations, even if you are extremely meditative person with so-called cool mind, 10 घंटा 12 घंटे के बाद कोई पढ़ नहीं सकता. No one can read after 10-12 hours. Okay, just show, you're seeing the screen, just show them this slide. With this slide, if they can read for 12 hours, sinus I kera, Mrs. I kera. So then people say I read morning essay, afternoon GS, evening anthropology, midnight I read Hindu. Okay, thank you. You should say thank you. If you can multitask so well, don't be an IAS, go to World Bank. So that's what I'm saying. Since most of you are new to the exam, have your own strategies. Okay, we are all writing this exam after 21, right, Preeti? So we are all writing this exam after giving so many exams, right, from 10th class, intermediate, degree. There we had all our strategies. For this exam, why you should depend on some XYZ strategy? Aren't we individuals? We should have our own strategy to crack the exam, right? Why you should follow some fellow who has cracked first rank or second rank and he comes and says, this worked out for me, this is my notes, I'll make it into a textbook, I'll sell it in Tata McGraw-Hill, you purchase, you buy hard my notes. आपको नोट्स बनाना नहीं आता है क्या स्टैंडर्ड सोर्सेज देख के? So we have lost our creativity just by attempting UPSC. So be yourself. I always believe I am myself and I'll be myself. If the exam rejects me, it's okay. Still, I'll royally exit. But doesn't mean that, if the only goal is to get a rank, then there are 100 ways to get a rank. How you're getting a rank is also important, right? If doesn't matter, then okay, it's okay. No point of having GS4 paper also. So have your own approach for all the papers. Have your own notes. Uh, yeah, you're taking good coaching. For GS also, you should have one good approach. We'll discuss. I'm just saying what are these approaches, what I followed. That doesn't mean you should follow. You can have your own approach. In fact, you must have your own approach. That will really work wonders for you. From there only you learn. If you win very well. Even if you lose, you can analyze where your strategy went wrong. If you're following some Anudeep strategy or Ira Singhal strategy, if it fails, you are unable to judge what went wrong. Agree or not agree? आपका स्ट्रैटेजी जब फेल होगा आपको पता चलेगा आप कहाँ गलत है आप XYZ का स्ट्रैटेजी फॉलो करेंगे तो उनका स्ट्रैटेजी फेल होगा तो आपको क्या पता लगेगा you cannot judge what went wrong. So final 2 minutes before we close. Paleolithic age we have completed. Important slides. Okay, if possible you try to see the video again and then I'll send the PDF possibly of first 2 or 3 classes in by this weekend. And then please bear with me for very short notices and thank you very much for coming even with short notice because I know you people are preparing full time and it's difficult to come online immediately at short notice and spend 2.5 hours. So and I'm spending 4 hours to make this level of easy for you. So whenever the slides, I just put the message in the group after this slide. When this slide was ready, I immediately put the message. So I was convinced because I should be convinced that the PPT has come well, or else I will not put up for a class. Because up to this slide, it was already done 2-3 days back. So only when the last slide came and when I went through all the 19 slides, I felt really comfortable that it's quite informative and for a Paleolithic age, it is more than enough. And then I called for a class. So kindly bear with the short notice as I am also trying to prepare for interview after 2 years. So uh, whenever I call, just be patient, or if you are unable to make it, go through the classes online and we can always catch up for doubts. Okay. And next class will be important, Mesolithic and Neolithic culture. Very, very important, not only for your archaeology, but also for your GS paper 1. It is part of art and art forms of ancient India. So Mesolithic and Neolithic, in fact Neolithic is the most important topic for GS also. Okay. Neolithic revolution, Neolithic revolution, Neolithic revolution. You hear that 100 times across many topics. Okay. So even in your thought, Neolithic revolution comes whenever Gordon Child comes. Gordon Child came with his new materialism. He just came and went off. So Gayatri, I was just giving one tip to Sweta last class. You followed how culture thought can be used to oppose one similar thought, and then you can make an answer out of it.
Yes, sir. When Venkat Mohan sir says
Try
one
to use
thing.
that approach in anthropology.
Yes.
It
When
is one.
Venkat Mohan sir says that compare and contrast
Yeah, that is
is the
one
way of.
good approach. So you write all the schools of thought one across other, and just what is the drawback in this? You hit with this. So that is one good way to have continuity. In fact, if you see Venkat Mohan Sir's book is completely based on Marvin Harris. He uses Marvin Harris to criticize all the fellows, and when it comes to Marvin Harris, he uses other fellows to say that okay, this is a drawback of Marvin Harris. So again, once again, I'm saying thought is very important for anthropology. If you don't know thought, your paper one is gone. Okay, so be clear with the thought and revise it multiple times. Read that green color book two or three times. For the fourth time, you will know. Okay, fine. You understand what is there. Okay. Uh, so shall we exit for the day, Sunil? Feeling confident now?
Not exactly, but I got something.
No. Okay, that's good. See, just be yourself, man. It will be really good, and I'm sure you will do it. Okay. Just revise. Revision is the only mantra. Okay. Fine. Okay. Yeah. Bye.
Thank you, sir.